Someone can take down Maria's chair and Noah's chair. If you could all get out your math norms that we did yesterday, please, and have those on your desk. And will someone do us a favor of reading out the first one? Ilana. Remember, one of our agreements as a class is that we're not going to interrupt each other. We don't want to live in a community that disrespects other people by interrupting them. So let's try and make a plan as to what you're going to be able to do so you don't do that. Sophia, what's that? I need you to sit down. What's wrong? What's that? There are times, okay, you can be there up until 5 minutes. Is that fine? Like you can work there by yourself a little bit and then come back. No, fine. Okay. Second one. Who can read the second one for us? Okay. Third one. Come on. Okay. Fourth one. Fifth one. Sixth one. Again. And seventh one. Probably not. So we're going to go over these notes every time. At the start and at the end. I want you to think about what it is you think that you're going to most struggle with as a student of math. Which one of those do you think might give you the most problems? Which one of those do you think might be the easiest one for you? The one maybe that you already believe in. Okay? And then I'll have you kind of reflect on that at the end. This is how most of the time things are going to go in math. I'm not going to say when we do a task. Okay? This is what we're going to do. When I give you a task, the first thing we're going to do is read the task and then ask any clarifying questions. So maybe there's something you don't understand, maybe there's a word you don't understand, make sure we all know what we're trying to answer. The next part is going to be silent struggle time. You will be working by yourself. Okay? I'm asking you for attention for about 2 minutes so I can explain what we're doing. All right? So if we can't do that, please think of a strategy that will help you out. 2 minutes, 5 minutes or so of silent struggle time, where there's no talking, you're working by yourself. You're trying it out. You're making mistakes, you're struggling. Or it's a super easy task and you finish it, no brain burn. Okay? After those first few minutes of silent struggle, you're then going to look over and start working with a partner, one person, and then at the end of that, I'll have you talk to a larger group of 4. Okay? So that'll look like you're going to be a group of these 4, and 4, okay? But for you ladies, it's going to be a group of 4 and a group of 5. Obviously, it's only 4 today because tomorrow. That's what I'll. Okay. All right. So after those first 5 minutes of struggle, then I'm going to need to come back. All right. So we are starting our first unit on volume. But before we start on volume, I need to know what you know. I need to know what strategies you already have in place when it comes to even like 3rd grade math, 2nd grade math, 4th grade math. I need to see if you know what I need you to know. Actually, no, not what I need, what you need to know in order to be successful, because math is connected. So if we're missing some parts, it makes math, the further and further we go, a little harder. Okay, so I'm going to project the first question. We'll read it. All right, so it says the movie ended at 9:30 p.m. It was 2 hours and 45 minutes long. At what time did it start? What is this question asking you to do? Who can offer to the group? So, Tiago. Try it. Struggle. I feel your brain growing right now. Try it. No one should be started yet. Let's wait. Let's be patient. I shouldn't see any pens moving. Pens down, please. Oh, we're not talking about strategies yet. We're not talking about what actual math. What are you needing to find out? What do you, as a mathematician, need to find out right now? Lord, yes. Okay, so what time did the movie start? That's what you, as a mathematician, are trying to figure out with the information provided. Are there any questions about this problem, this task? Okay, so again, this first portion is you working silently. If you go through and find one answer one way, I challenge you to do it another way. If you go through real quick and find one way to solve it, I challenge you to do it a second way instead of just sitting there. Because the more and more you challenge yourself to try and find different ways and different processes, the more brain growth you're going to get, the more breakthroughs you're going to get when it comes to math. So don't just solve it one way. Try and solve it as many ways as you can. Okay, you can start. Quiet. What did you work on? What was your strategy? What are you thinking about? Talk to someone. Why? If you want to expand your conversation to include more people, you can at this point. Right. So what numbers are what digits are allowed? What digits? Digits are in base 10. We have 10 digits. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are the 10 digits we have, and they make up our numbers. So what digits are used? Based on numbers, right? So what digits are allowed? So you're saying this 9 can't be right, because you know it doesn't exist. So what digits are allowed to be used? 10 is there? Or what digit? 10 is not. What we're talking about. So time, right? Can be up for places. Right? It's different than numbers. What numbers are allowed? What digits are allowed to be there? 5 is allowed to be there. 4. Do you ever see 6 there? Ever see something like 9, 62? So 62, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 94. Now you rotate, right? 94 could be minutes. Or that look like a time. How many hours and minutes is 94 minutes? How many minutes is an hour? 60 minutes. So 94 minutes. How long? 1 hour and 34. So if you have 94, you can turn it to 1 hour and 34 minutes. Maybe that's part of the answer. I don't know. Something different. You ever get anything over 60? I can still translate it into take 60 out. How did you go from this to that. Right, so as a mathematician, you're trying to communicate this, and you show someone, and you're like 39 minus 45. I have no idea. That doesn't make any sense. 39 minus 45 equals 50. So the work you've done, while maybe correct, does not help anyone. Does not communicate what your ideas are. Figure out how to communicate. Figure out how to communicate. So again, I don't know how. Just giving me an answer doesn't communicate anything. I don't know. How can you communicate? Again, just like I would say, 939 minus 2.5 equals 64. How is that possible? Even if you're right, how is it possible? How do you know you're right? But why? You might be right, but if you're not communicating appropriately, you're not being a mathematician. You need to figure out how to communicate. Just have it sound about answers, right? About questions.
I didn't write that, and then I show how I did
There is no. We'll find out. One thing we're going to need to get used to is this. Just because you have the right answer doesn't mean you're right. Okay? And just because you have the wrong answer doesn't mean you're wrong. It's all about your process that you're using and what strategies you're using, and can you communicate your thinking? Because if you can communicate your thinking, what you're doing and why, that is a huge part of mathematics. Saying this is the answer. That's not really, that's a very, very small part. It might be the part that we've really focused on in the past as students and as teachers, but we're not going to be focusing on that part as much. Okay, great if you get the right answer, but way better if you're in the struggle, you're trying different things, you're drawing it out, and you can communicate your answer. All right, so does anyone have an offer they're willing to share, an answer they're willing to share, and a strategy that they used in order to figure that out? Now, this is what my expectation is at this point. Everyone is engaged in a student explanation. And if there's a question or a critique that you want to do, which is a huge part of mathematics, it's critiquing everyone else's thinking. It's really a bad thing. You can be giving positive things, okay? So maybe asking questions, exploring their thought process, having them explain stuff. So at this point, no books are out. We are solely focused on the speaker. And their thoughts and showing them respect. Yes, sir, what's your answer? No. First, let's talk about the process and then tell me your answer. Yep.
Okay, so I don't like to draw and
Hold on, we've got people not paying attention
this
here.
is what happens.
Sorry, pause. I want to pay attention to Poplar. What you guys say is important. If I have to worry about some of you not paying attention, I can't pay attention. I can't. I have to go like, hey, can you guys get on board with this? Is it important for you all to treat Pablo with respect? Do we want to be a classroom that treats each other with respect, or do we not? Some of the time, most of the time, all the time, none of the time? What do we want to do? Do you just want people to be respectful when you're talking? Is that when you think people should be respectful? Is when you have something to say? So I want you to start thinking about, what does respect look like to you? Do you need to look someone in the eye when they're talking to be respectful? I don't know. Do you? So because some of you don't. The only person you're looking at again is me. So how can we solve that? I'm trying to think. Does anyone have any suggestions about that? Yes. Yes. Well, what I'm saying, no, I mean, it's impossible. But when I'm talking to all of you, you feel like at some point I'm looking at you, right? Does anyone feel like I never looked at them? So what do? I make sure that I'm looking around the room. So that's a strategy as a public speaker, which most of you, I mean, that's a big part of life, is being able to talk to a group of people. Very rarely are you only going to talk to one person. And a lot of times you'll have a phone around, and then this is always nice when someone's talking to you and they're on their phone. And when I say it's nice, it's not nice. It's very, very mean. It changes everything. So you have this as a distraction too when you're outside of these walls. So who do you want to be as a person? So is there a way? Because right now it seems like we're not set up to be conducive for eye contact when Pablo is speaking. Because we have some people that their back is automatic to him. He's looking at the front of the room, right? There are people behind him. So how can he possibly be looking at them? So does anyone have a suggestion we can do? Maybe when we're sharing answers, we should do something else. I don't know. Why don't you talk amongst, try and come up with like, when we share our answers and our thinking, what should we do as a class to make sure that everyone is feeling supported and safe and cared for? So talk amongst your people, please. All right, any ideas for the good of the group? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Any ideas offered? Yes.
So,
Hold on. No. Like to solve the problem of people not looking at you when you're giving your answer.
no, I don't know.
Oh. Yeah.
And maybe project your work on the screen and
Okay.
maybe
All right. Does anyone want to add to that idea or have a different idea? So putting our work up on the screen. Yes. Okay. Well, especially with his work there too. Okay, awesome. Let's give that a try. This camera will be looking at your work. It will not be looking at you. Now, who, pray tell me, whose responsibility now is it going to be to make sure that you're looking? Your responsibility and who else?
Yours.
Me? Just me? Because if I'm looking at Pablo, how can I possibly know if you're paying attention? If my whole focus is on the person presenting, I'm focused in on listening because I care about them. I want them to feel cared about. I want them to know that what they're doing is important. I should look back and turn my back to them and figure out, hey, you guys are looking at a ruler, not paying attention. I should be responsible for that? Now, when I'm speaking to all of you and looking at all of you, I know when someone's looking in their desk. I know when someone has a ruler out in the play. And I can call the room to order. So who else has an enormous responsibility when it comes to people looking at the speaker? Besides you, the audience, there's one other person. The presenter. You need to hold, if you see people, okay, when you need to hold people accountable, which means that you need to correct their behavior, it means that they are not able to be responsible yet. All right? So just think of that. So if you're being corrected about paying attention for 5 minutes, it means you're not responsible yet to be paying attention for 5 minutes. That's what that means. If you're needing to be held accountable, I trust you to pay attention. Right? We trust each other. There's a relationship. So if you're looking in your desk, I'm going to assume that you're still paying attention. Now, if you're talking or making eye contact and smiling, that I don't think that's the thing. That's for me in life. We'll have to have a conversation about that. So, Pablo, are you willing to show your work and explain your thinking? All right, get up there. Go up to the document camera, put your work under the document camera, and talk about it. Go up a little to the left around the camera so you look here. We'll put signage up, and if the parents just like that, that's fine. Let's see if it. Yeah, autofocus that. See if that works. If not, sometimes the lighting is an issue.
It looks white.
Yeah, weird. I wonder why.
It's orange. Orange. Oh my God. What? Now it's white first. It was okay, there. So at the beginning I did 45 minus 6 equals 39. So then I knew that if I take care out the 39, it would be 9. And then I took out the 6 minutes to make the 45, and it gave me 8:54. And then I took the 2 hours, and it gave me 6:54.
Hold on. Any questions about or any critiques about his process and his thoughts? What am I doing? I'm talking to Pablo, not me.
I don't understand. When you say like the part that you say minus plus 6 to the plus. Like for example, it was 2 hours and 45 minutes the time the movie was. So if I take out of the 45 minutes, I take 6 minutes, then it would be the 39. So it would be easier to just take the 39 out of the 939, and then it would be 9. Take the 6 off and just take out the 2 hours. Pablo.
Why 34 plus 6 is 35?
It's not 34, it's 39. Like, it's 39 and not.
It's a 9, not a 4.
Oh.
Two real things real quick.
No, it's not 39, not 4. It's just like the 39 plus the 6 is the 45 of the 2 hours.
I think you're saying the 9 looks like a 4.
Yeah.
It looks like 34, but it should be 30.
It's the 39.
So 2 points. One, Pablo, you were trying to make the problem easier on yourself by reducing 9:39 to 9 o'clock. So you needed to figure out what was left over from the 45 minutes, and that was at 6 minutes.
And that was 6 minutes, and then I just needed to
And then the
take
2
the hours out.
Because mine subtracting and adding by hours is much easier than when we start using minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, I think another good thing to think about is when we aren't precise with our writing and our numbers, it can lead to confusion, right? Because your audience was confused about what's 34 plus 6. So those are 2 things. So again, thank you for sharing that strategy, and your answer then at the end was 654. So you had a process of figuring out and making the problem easier on yourself and less taxing, which is efficiency. That's what we call efficiency. That's what mathematicians do, trying to be efficient. Okay, so thank you, Pablo. Is there anyone with the same answer and a different strategy, a different answer that they want to go up with? Luciano, go. I want you to think about how well you paid attention to Pablo, and if you need to improve on that, please do with Luciano. And I also want you to think about, as a speaker, what do you expect? Do you expect people playing with rulers and looking at their desks as you speak? Just treat people. It's the golden rule, right? Treat people as you would like to be treated. Try it. Just leave it there and try it in autofocus again. Next time I'll take my computer off of there.
Okay, wait.
What don't you?
I think it's maybe the light
Make
of
our
the
lives
computer.
Make our lives easier.
I think you should take off the light of the computer.
Yeah, I'm gonna move the computer. All these chords. We'll need to rethink that. All right, try that.
Oh, oopsies. Oh, okay. So,
It's not on you. It's on you.
I did a number line that started at 9:39, and then I took away the 2 hours, and then it was 7:39. And then I took away 45 minutes, so that it would be 2 hours and 45 minutes that the movie was. And my answer was 6:54. But then to double check, I added 6:54 to 2:45, and the answer was 9:39.
Any questions for Luciano? Or critiques on her thinking, or her, you could even give her compliments on her strategy.
9:39 minus 2.
The 2 hours of 2 hours 45 minutes.
Hold on 1 second. No. Christopher, you asked a question. And what do we think about questions in this class?
Questions are important.
Questions are important, no matter what the question is. No matter what the question is. Yeah, so let's be very careful about questions and how we respond to each other with questions. Unless we do want to be a classroom who makes people feel uncomfortable for asking questions, because I certainly don't want that. Even if you all want that, I will fight against it. That is something I do not expect.
Oh, yes. to the number line.
Hold on a second. Can you be more specific? What is it about her answer that you don't understand? Because questions are important, but when it's just I don't understand, that's a really hard, as a teacher, it's a very hard thing to do when someone's just like, I don't understand. Well, what numbers don't you understand? What process don't you understand? What step are you confused with? Be a little bit more specific to help Lucy out.
Oh, I subtracted with the number line, and so I started at 9:39 for like the time that they need the end. And then was the 2 hours of the 2 hours and 45 minutes, which gave me 7:39. And then I subtracted 45 minutes so that I could complete the 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it gave me 6 hours and 6:54.
And you added to verify your answer.
Yes.
So the adding is to verify that if a movie started at 6:45,
Yes.
2 hours and 45 minutes later, it would be 9:39.
Yes.
I think one thing to learn from this too is when we are communicating our ideas, just like Cristobal pointed out, if we don't have some words involved or some letters, sometimes it's confusing for people. So as mathematicians, again, it's about communicating, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of times we'll have an answer and we'll just put nothing next to it, like units or like centimeters or something like that. So that's a easy way to communicate better. Okay, but thank you, Lucian, for coming up there and showing the answer. I have one thing I'd like to show, and one thing for you to think about before we end today, because we're almost at time to end, and I want to respect our time together. What I noticed for everybody, for the two that presented, is they went from 39. Well, not everybody, but they went back by 45 minutes to get 56, or you started from 45 minutes, right?
I took the 39 and then the 6.
Yeah. My question is this. In my head, what makes the most sense is if I start, what was the end time, 9:39? And I'm on this, like we were saying, the easiest thing in my head is to try and get to the hour as soon as possible. So the first thing I would have done is subtract 39 minutes. That leaves me now at 9 p.m. So now I have 2 hours to go, right? Because it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. And I might keep that up here, 2 hours, 45 minutes. So already I got rid of 39 minutes. So now I'm at 2 hours and 6 minutes. So I have 2 hours and 6 minutes left to go in the movie. So now I'm going to go back 2 hours, because that's, for me, that's easy to think about. And that leaves me at 7 p.m. So now I'm done with the 2 hours. So now I just have 6 minutes left over. And that one I can kind of do in my head as well. I just go back 6 minutes. And 6:54 p.m. would be the start time. So again, if you got the right answer, fine. Congratulate yourself. If you got the wrong answer, great. As long as you were in the struggle and you were thinking about things, that's what's important. So right now I want you to read through the norms that we have for math. And I want you to think about what is right now the hardest thing for you to do. What did you think that maybe did you give up on the problem too easy? Or you cared more about the answer than your process? Did you ask questions? Right, so kind of look through that, think about what you did well today, what you still need to work on, and then we'll transition into something else.
It's too late.